Hello, my name is Dr. Linda McIver and I run the Australian Data Science Education Institute. We're a charity dedicated to helping kids understand data. Today's topic is mean versus median, which has no bearing on COVID-19 that I can find, and maybe a day off from talking about scary numbers is a good idea. I'm going to be honest, I never understood the difference between mean and median and why it was important until I started teaching data science. And that's because the data sets we used at school were little toy textbook data sets where mean and median actually weren't significantly different. Now, mean is the average. It's the total divided by the number of values. Median, on the other hand, is the middle value in the list when it's sorted. The big difference between mean and median is that mean is easily distorted by big values, or really small values, at the edges of the data set, while median doesn't shift as much. So for data sets where there's a big range and some pretty big outliers, median is often a more useful indicator of where the middle really lies. So today we're going to use a data set from data.gov.au on taxable income by postcode, and there's a link to it in the comments if you want to play with it yourself. It's important to note that this data is already kind of smoothed over because it's by postcode rather than by individual, so the differences are smaller than they would be if we looked at individual income, but we can't get that data for privacy reasons. It's also reported taxable income, which can be quite different from real income for all kinds of ethical reasons that are a whole other rant. Okay, let's look at my screen. This is a set of data I got from data.gov.au, and it's taxable income for the 2016 to 2017 financial year. You can see that first thing I've done is I've made a copy of the sheet that I want to work on, because that way if I stuff it up I can always go back to the original data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an extra column to the right here, because what we have here is we have total taxable income or loss for that postcode. So in this case 410 million, but that's over everybody in that postcode. So I'm going to take the number of people that the number of tax returns that were filed, and I'm going to use that to divide this number to get the average value for that postcode. So total divided by number of values, and that gives me the average. I could also have used a formula, but I wanted to show you how to calculate it. Now, while we're scrolling down, you will have noticed at the top there that there was a postcode which was 800. And Australia doesn't have 3-digit postcodes, it has 4-digit postcodes. And what happened there is that Google Sheets, like Excel or Numbers or any other spreadsheet that you use, was being terribly helpful and removing the leading zero from the value, because if it's just a number, leading zeros don't matter. And sometimes that kind of terribly helpful behavior by your spreadsheet can really cause problems. All right, so now we have the average income by postcode. So let's look at the total average. So we want the average for this whole column, which is from there down to the end of the column, which you can just use F for. Okay, so the average 55,996. Now what's the median, and is it different? Let's look. Median is from there down to the bottom, 52,100. So it's quite different. Let's look at the maximum, because I think that's always a useful value to sort of get an idea of what the data looks like. So the maximum from there to the end is 271,000. That's quite a lot for an average income for a postcode. And what's the minimum? I think this one's going to shock you. It shocked me. Okay, so the minimum average wage for a postcode is 20,000. That's a little bit scary to me. I don't know if it's scary to you, but that level of income inequality just by postcode, not even by individual, is pretty dramatic. Okay, now what I'm going to do now is I want to show you how mean and median change if you remove some of those big values from the top. So to do that, I'm going to sort this data by the taxable income, which is column F, the average income by postcode, and I'm going to sort it from largest to smallest so that we can go up to the top and say, all right, here are the big ones, let's get rid of them. It's going to take a while because there's a lot of numbers in there. Okay, now we scroll up, and you can see that the largest value is actually significantly larger than the next one down. So 271,000 versus 233,000. That's a pretty big jump from largest to next largest. I'm going to make this bigger so that you can see it more easily. And then I want you to watch what happens to the mean and the median when we remove some of those large values. Let's scroll over a little bit. Okay, so watch the mean. The mean is currently 55,996. And if we remove that large value, the mean changes. And it changes by about 80. That's quite a lot. Let's put it back again and watch the median this time. 52,100 becomes 52,097. So that's only changed by 3. Now let's remove the next one down. Okay, so we removed those 2 big outliers. Now the mean is more than 100 less than it was, nearly 150 less than it was, whereas the median has only changed by 7. So that's a significant reason why mean is more variable than median, and why median can give you a better idea of the middle of a range of values, where some of the values at the extreme ends are massively different. And there's a whole lot to talk about the significance of the fact that the maximum average income by postcode is so different to the minimum. As I said, that's a rant for another time. Okay, so that's why mean and median are actually different values and are actually important to know about. I hope this has helped you understand the whole mean and median thing. If you like it, please share it. And if you have ideas for other topics you'd really like me to cover, please pop them in the comments. Comments are active now because I've changed the settings. And you can donate to help us make these videos at givenow.com.au/adsei, and visit adsei on all of the social medias if you look at the links on the screen. Thanks very much, and hope to see you next time.